for you, Luke. How did you see it unfold?
It was pretty even early, and obviously missed some opportunities to get some momentum on the scoreboard. But there was I think there was a period where Essendon got a stranglehold through probably their pressure and wouldn't handle it too well. We knew coming here tonight. I was stung off the back of last week. There was obviously some commentary about the second half last week for them, and in the end, I think behind closed doors came here feeling pretty bullish about our chances, and in the end, it's a disappointing night. As it rolled on, we just didn't get anything going. So we'll need to process it, and we'll just need to bounce back this week.
Hard for you out of the middle. I know Marcus has been a Warrior for a long time. Had a quieter night, and they seem like they had it on you in there. How'd you see that play out? Yeah,
it was an important part of the night. The centre bounce situation week to week is such a important territory and scoring avenue, and they came out a bit too clean at times. I think they ended up only scoring 3 goals, but it seemed like more as far as the territory game goes. And it is an area that before this year we'd been measuring up really well. We'd been probably one of the best 2 or 3 in the competition for a number of years, regardless of ladder position, and it's something we go to work on pretty diligently every week. And we couldn't get the upper hand, so it's they were too good for us in there.
How did you see the team seemed to make quite a few skill errors and obviously bad decisions as well? Was that a function of the pressure that Essendon made, or was it a combination of just second guessing yourselves a bit out there?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of both. Some of those errors you can absolutely put down to Essendon's pressure, whether it's the chase downs and the missed kicks but there were times when we're in open field and we got overlap and they were territory plays, and they broke down right where the ball was, so a handball error, whether it wasn't weighted properly or it was fumbled or whatever it may be. So, and no, there's some of the things that are nasty surprises in game, which you can't really plan for as far as the momentum shifts. We didn't get off on the right footing. We gave away too many free kicks in the first quarter. I'll have to have a look at that, whether it's just clumsiness or there's a discipline in it, because I think historically we've been a really disciplined side as far as that differential goes, and it's really gone south as far as the comparatives. So we need to be better with that side of it. And again, you give Essendon credit there, because this game is all about first to the ball or commitment to aerial and ground contests, and over the course of the night, there's no doubt that they held sway there.
You mentioned the scoreboard earlier. I think in the end you missed 9 set shots. You finish up with more scoring shots, so it's pretty hard to win when you do that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and you can't put it down to youth and the evolution of the group. It's just something that wins and loses games of footy. I think there's absolutely more in the game than just that aspect. Because I think it's taking away from Essendon's game if we weight it totally on missed set shots. But it always makes a difference.
It's hard, Luke, to get a read on where you guys are at. Like you look at your team and you've got some absolute quality in there. You've had some success. You've spoken about needing to evolve after a couple of years. Like, if you talk to Western Bulldogs fans, where do you actually feel like you're at as a team? Like, it's hard to really gauge it from the outside.
Yeah, I mean, internally, and just speaking to the players then, I stand before them and I talk to them about how much I believe in them and how much I think we're capable of. And when I talk to our supporters, I talk to them about the possibilities. And even though we're evolving and there's some changes within personnel at different times, and where the players themselves have created an internal sort of pressure for spots, and that's all okay if you end up being a formidable team. Right now we're not, but whether or not there's any pain as we evolve and move into the future, because it's all about the now and what's up next and what's up next year, and history is history. So we need to make sure that we do what we can, whether it's the players or our support staff, just to make sure we capitalise on the week to week, and we're missing out on some opportunities. So I understand that if people aren't sure about where we sit in the scheme of things, and it is early in the year, it's just reality.
Is Tom Liberatore okay?
Yeah, he's fine. I think for some reason he lost his footing and stumbled, but he's fine. He's had he's been looked after, and there's no concussion or anything like that. So we were coming in just making sure he's okay, and he's apparently fine. So.
Bailey Dale starting as sub. What was the thinking behind that one?
Just a form thing, you know. I mean, I said before the game that we've been a little bit on edge about Liam Jones and Buku Kamas just shouldering that key defensive load, and without another, tall to really play on keys, it's meant that Ed Richards and Bailey to a degree, and sometimes Taylor Dray have had to really fight out of their weight range in the air, and so because Digger's probably just been a bit off with his influence in games, we thought it was a good week to bring James in. James is going to be a really important player for us in the future. Get him going. It's not, you don't pick the side 2 weeks ahead, but understanding what we've got coming up against the Saints with a bit of a taller forward line, that we're definitely going to need someone like James in the team. And he had some bad luck during pre-season with an ankle injury and a head knock, and bringing him in fresh tonight was important. And so that'll hopefully hold us in good stead in the ensuing weeks.
I know much has been spoken about. Aaron, would you ever consider him moving back, or is that not even a possibility? I can tell
Come
by
on,
the smile.
Ronnie, you know better.
Yeah.
How do you feel like the four lines as a partnership? How do you feel like it's going collectively?
Well, I think it's okay if we're getting the supply, and unfortunately tonight, it's not all about the keys. You know, I felt like we missed influence from some others down there as well, and Sam now sort of probably been more ready to play at the level, and he was off the ground in the second quarter due to circumstance, but the objective tonight was to give him more game time and playing for longer periods, and so that's something that's different for us as well. You know, with he sharing the load with Tim, and we knew it was going to be a big challenge for those boys against their ruck combination tonight, and I think that had something to do with their centre bounce influence the opposition. That is just what their rucks were doing. So there are things that that right now will continue to improve, and yeah, I mean, as I said pre-game, we'd scored on average over 100 points the previous 3 games to this one, so that was encouraging from a team like us that hadn't really been that prolific last year. So we need to see the promise in that.
I think you had 9 players under 50 games. Could be wrong, but I felt like it was more than Essendon. I think it's more than Essendon. Is it fair to say you've got more of an eye to the future than you have in recent seasons currently?
It's a bit of both. I mean, I'll always coach, and our coaches and our decision makers will always make the decisions for the now. But we need to make sure that, and this is part of the selection process as well, we give opportunities to young players that are going to be important players in the future as much as now. But it is a pretty steep learning curve at this level for guys who haven't played many games. And but in no way, shape or form are we saying that we're doing it for next year and the year after or anything like that. It's absolutely for the now, and we believe that, you know, we can win games like tonight. We just weren't good enough tonight, unfortunately.
Caleb, Luke was a bit of a surprise for most of us on Thursday night. Just to talk us through that a bit, I guess.
Yeah, just similar to Bailey Dale, just as far as influence goes, and as I've said in the past, and I think you guys and girls totally understand, there's a finite amount of minutes that midfielders can play, and CD's probably we've moved away from picking him as a half back at the moment, so it comes down to who are going to play the other roles, and we had others before him this week, so we'll keep working through that.
Riley Sanders was pretty clearly frustrated at being subbed out. How do you manage a young guy in that sort of situation?
We'll process it with him post game, and it's always difficult. That's why I don't not many of us really enjoy the sub factor, especially the subbing out aspect. But it's a steep learning curve for Sando. I mean, he's going to be such an important player for the football club, and he's learning all the time. And part of that is understanding that from time to time he may be that guy that comes off the ground. So we'll work through it with him. Thank you.